of Ian.is Weirdo wearing my Beetlejuice shirt where it looks like he's holding my boobs, which is weird, but whatever. So Beetlejuice. If I'm in a very Beetlejuicy place with my hair right now. My new growth is bonkers, so I need to handle that soon. If you're wondering how I'm doing today, I am doing better in a sense and like a little nervous because it's possible that I'm swinging the other way. Um, if you know a little bit about bipolar or have bipolar yourself or know someone with it, you know that like being too far into one state, like depression, like I've been, can swing you into another state, like hypomania, mania, something like that. So I'm being very cautious. I luckily have like a kind of emergency brake when it comes to like hypomania, which is my emergency medication. So if that is what needs to happen, that's what needs to happen. But so I have some weird like tells that I might be going into a state, and they're not always like 100% accurate. Like maybe I'm not going into a state, but like they're happening anyways as I get out of like a depression. Um, but like I get these like little jolts of energy, and I don't know how to like explain it other than like when you watch someone get like tased, but not like pass out face down tased, but um just like but like it like runs through my body. Like I often describe my like hypomanic and manic states like I'm just like made of electricity, and that's really what it feels like. Um so yeah, so that's what's going on, where I'm gonna have like a little twitchy. They're not they're not necessarily ticks, but they're more so like but yeah, so it's not necessarily the most fun place to be, if I'm being honest. It's a lot better than being super depressed, but um, still dealing with some of like the physical symptoms of depression, or like heavy mood swings. But I'm trying to like use my resources to make sure that I'm not like going off the rails, because there's always a potential for that. If you're wondering what I'm working on, I am still working on this commission piece that I am doing. Um, so it is a rib cage harness, and it involves a lot of sewing. There's all these pieces, but it's gonna look super cool, I think. And then it's also gonna have like guts and stuff coming out of it. So I'm super excited to kind of incorporate those things into this piece. Also, these pieces I haven't sewn on are going to be kind of made to fit the person that I'm making this piece for. If she wants, if she doesn't really want that vibe, then that's okay. I'll just make it to the specifications of um, the designer, and then I just want to make sure I'm making something that fits her, well, because um, this is an important piece for her to have. Okay, so this next rib should be 18 centimeters. Um, I've been following along with this pattern that I found on YouTube. There were some paid patterns, and I was trying to avoid it by doing like seeing if I can find a free pattern on YouTube, and I managed to find one that I actually liked the look of. Some of them I just wasn't kind of feeling the vibe. It didn't look as like realistic or whatever as I wanted. I wanted something that was very like tightly crocheted. So it didn't look like a bunch of like, it looked crocheted, but it didn't look like it had a bunch of holes in it and like there were a bunch of spaces. So I'm using a smaller hook than I think I would have normally picked for this yarn, but um, it keeps the design looking really cool, and I'm really happy with it. So I hope the customer is as happy as I am. Okay, so let me message the buyer. So this is a lot of sewing and making sure everything fits right. Um, and part of the reason why I don't want to do a lot of sewing before I get her in it is because I want to make sure it like fits her well, because obviously like undoing all that hand sewing is going to be a pain in the ass if that's what it takes. So you know, and the thing is, like, the ribs are gonna kind of hang, so it's like it's not a huge deal if it doesn't like fit her. It's actually better if it doesn't fit her like perfectly straight across. But I just want to make sure I give enough allowance so that it does have, um, you know, so that it looks like ribs. But yeah. Hello, welcome in. If you want to lurk, you're welcome to lurk. If you want to come hang out, you're welcome to come hang out. I can even drop the link if someone wants to come hang out. I'm listening to music right now, but we can hang out and chit chat if you prefer that. I just messaged the person who wanted to commission a blanket from me. Um, but if you're in Army of Weirdos, you know I constantly post like patterns and just stupid shit about crochet and whatever. But I found this pattern that I am like obsessed with, and I think I might use it to make maybe a Swamp Witch cardigan. I'm not sure. I've got to make something with it, and it's kind of like jumped to like the front of my list. Um, but let's see. Um, so I hope you can see it. Okay, so um, So this is the picture. It has the pattern at the bottom, and then this is like the mesh that it creates, and it looks kind of like cubic, like 3D cubes. And I've never seen this symbol, so I'm hoping it's, let's see, at the bottom of the V. It's probably a slip stitch, but anyways, I'm really excited to make something with it. I just love the pattern. It really like sometimes you see something and you're just like, oh my gosh, that's just like giving me like I gotta make things now vibes, and like that for sure is. I've talked about the difficulty in making fitted clothes, especially tops for me, because I'm about to get top surgery, hopefully. And uh, things are going to fit a lot differently on my body. So I want to make sure that I, um, kind of accommodate for that. But I don't know, like, what, like, my chest is going to be like. I don't know. So, so let's see what we're measuring at right now. Perfectly, right at 18. So I'm going to cut this. Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna find scissors. Okay, so now we have two 18 centimeter ribs on this side, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So this is a lot of like piecemeal type sewing. I wasn't planning on charging a lot, but I kind of didn't expect it to take this long. So I think we're gonna be kind of on the higher end of her budget, but it's paying for my time. Um, so, you know, especially with like friends and family, I try to charge like the bare minimum. Oh, she messaged me that. I try to charge the bare minimum, but like sometimes you gotta be like, you know what, my time is kind of worth a little bit more. Okay, so we're starting a new rib. If anyone's interested in the pattern that I wrote, uh, trying to kind of translate um this person's pattern into English, um, I would be happy to finish that up and share it with you all. Um, I would be happy to share that with you all if you're interested, because it is a little tedious to have to go through the closed captions, try to figure out what she's trying to communicate, because there is a little bit of, I don't know, Google Translate or what is kind of acting up, but can be a little bit confusing. So okay, please just go in the hole. Stop falling apart. Literally my life. If you are crocheting, I would love to know what you are making. Um, as you know, I'm making this um, awesome but very time consuming commission. And I really just didn't expect it to take this much time. So, plus, there's also like a very artistic component. Once I get done with the base of the, I might as well just go and sew things in. Maybe I'll just do that all at once. Um, but I feel like um, I also have to be very artistic with the application of like the organs and things like that, because I really want it to look good and feel like a one of a kind, like couture piece. So these next two ribs are going to be 18 centimeters as well. Welcome in, welcome in. Love hanging out with you all. I'm listening to some music, but it doesn't mean I can't chat. It's just like kind of am in a place where like I need some music, need kind of like certain senses to be like soothed, if that makes sense. Like sometimes I need like absolute quiet when I'm crocheting, not generally, but like sometimes I need a little bit of background music or noise just to kind of keep me settled. And this is just one of those days where I need to be able to like listen to some music. The sound of my own voice is like grating to me, and I'm like, get me out of here. Um, so yeah, we're just crocheting ribs over and over and over again until our fingers fall off. um, you know, it's it's a little bit tedious, and I'm sure I could have finished this a lot faster. But I haven't really been in the mood to crochet a lot when I'm not on camera, with the exception of the bouquet that I'm making. So I'm kind of just focused on doing that. And let's see, it's the 6th today, and then I have the 14th. So what, that's 12 days? No, 8 days. Ugh. So that is going to be one of my projects that I really try to get done in time because I like doing romantic gestures and stuff like that. And I think having a bouquet that doesn't, rot or anything is sweet. And then also something that kind of symbolizes our marriage and the progress that we've made and the commitment we've made to each other, I think is hopefully going to be perceived as very sweet. But I need to also do some pattern making on my own to make sure I can get the flowers and leaves that we had. So I think I mentioned this before, but when we had our bouquets for our wedding, we had some like white flowers, we had some like berries that looked kind of like frosted. And then it was mostly like greenery. We didn't really go like a super flowery route. And part of that was because we were getting married in December. So there weren't a lot of flowers available that wouldn't be like super expensive. And because we did like a white and black theme for us and then metallics, there aren't many metallic flowers, if you can believe that. Um, my um, my mother-in-law did a lot of like DIY stuff for us, and one of the things that she did was she picked like magnolia um, tree bush, I don't really know what it is, leaves, and then covered them in Mod Podge and then spray painted them in metallic colors. And then we have a friend, Mel's best friend, who does calligraphy, and she hand wrote on the leaves, like, whose name it was. So um, having like metallics is really important. So I got some really exciting colors that I want to kind of incorporate the theme of our wedding into the bouquet. But I need to get this yarn soon. I'm not gonna have time to do it, or it's gonna be late. And if it's late, it's not a big deal. But you know, okay. So let's see where we're at in the measurement department. Okay, we are at um, about 14 right now, so we need to do a little bit more. I'm really trying to think of what I want to do with that pattern that I posted on Army of Weirdos, because it is very exciting for me to just like get inspired to do. Okay, so let's see what we're doing. Oh my gosh. So Winter had commented on it, and I didn't see that, so I'm going to take the chat away and then bring back the chat if that helps. But sorry, I'm not seeing the comments. Um, but I'm on YouTube now, so hopefully I can see them and reply to them. There's gonna be a bit of a lag, but I apologize. I was like, well, it kind of sucks that no one's commenting, but whatever. But no, that apparently was not the situation. So I apologize for that. It's hard to tell if people are commenting and you can't see it because you're like, maybe just no one's talking today. Sorry. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Nifty. Ooh, welcome from Toronto. Um, uh, oh, yeah. So I'm currently working on a rib cage harness for a friend of mine, and she is doing a book cover. And oh, my phone. Didn't think that my expenses are important. And yeah, and then it's gonna have like guts and stuff like that. And then I was gonna wait to like tie things off, but I think that it's just gonna slow me down. So I'm just gonna hope that things fit her correctly. I am risking it. The pattern that I'm using is the YouTube video that I'm using. It is linked in the description below, and it is in Spanish but has captions in English. Some of them are a little difficult to understand, just based on maybe what Translate, like Google Translate, thought she was saying or whatever. So um, I've been kind of writing my own uh, pattern for this, and so if you're interested in that pattern, let me know, and I can work on that when I get some time, which is probably a quarter past never. But so let's take some more measurements. I feel like I really want to make sure this drapes well. Now, now this is made for a chest that has volume to it. So if that's not your situation, you can adjust the measurements to fit you properly. Um, Very advanced. How long you been crocheting? Like 3 or 4 years. It actually is not nearly as advanced as you think. It's just a little tedious because you have to crochet like a ton of strips. Um, and it's not bad. Like I said, the YouTube um, video is below. If you don't speak Spanish, you can turn on the English captions. And, but it's not nearly as advanced as it looks. But it does take a lot of time and just really being considerate of what you're doing and a lot of measurements taken and stuff like that. So I'm using a 3.5 millimeter hook. I got it off of Etsy. It looks very similar to a Furl's Odyssey, which has been discontinued. The hook is tapered. I thought it was a little bit more of a hybrid than it is, but it turns out nope. Um, so uh, um, So this is not a furls. It's from Etsy. I was hoping it was handmade. Um, the price was very reasonable, and then I got it and found out that it was in fact made in, I think, Istanbul, or at least it was sent from Istanbul. So, which isn't a problem, but for me, like Etsy is like a place I go to get handmade goods, and it's really hard to find handmade stuff on there now, or it's harder. And so it's just kind of hard to distinguish sometimes. So that kind of sucks because it's supposed to be a place where like people can um, sell their wares um, who are hand making goods because this is like for some people this is their livelihood. Okay, so let's see. So I'm gonna frog one row, and we'll be at 18. And I'm gonna sew in all the ends at once, which isn't really my style typically. But at first I was gonna like custom fit it to my friend, and now I'm like, nah, I just need to get this done. So, but I'm gonna put it on her, and then obviously if I need to make any changes, I can do that. It looks really advanced. I'm like seeing it on camera, and I'm like, wow, that looks pretty intense. But really, I promise you, do uh, if you can do a either a magic circle or chain, and then if you can do do double crochets and increases, then you can do it. So I promise you are very capable, and you can do this if you desire to. So believe in yourself. So Nifty, how long have you been crocheting, or do you crochet? I know not everyone who watches crochets as well. So I always like to ask if I remember. I have a very bad memory, and if once you're hanging out with me, you will know that's my truth. What does frog mean? To pull out your urine. Yes, so frogging is the action of undoing the work that you have done. And so the reason they call it frogging, I have a piece down everywhere. So the reason they call it frogging is because you're rip it, rip it, rip it, rip it. So it sounds kind of like a frog's rip it. So that's why they call it frogging, because you're ripping out stitches basically. Is kind of the idea of it. but not a lot. I thought that that was just kind of like the language that everyone knew, and then sometimes I find out that that's not what everyone uses, and I'm like, oh, oops. But thank you for asking. I'm always down to clarify any terms or anything that I use because it's just nice when we can speak the same language. So if you hear frogging, that means that people had to undo their work. Um, yeah. So what kind of stuff do you crochet? If you crochet, I need to reach out to my friend who knits and hang out. I told her I wanted to hang out more, and then I just haven't really been good at contact. Well, I had an emergency surgery, so that's kind of what happened. So I don't think it's like 100% my fault, but like, I had to take some time to heal, and now I'm like, okay, well, okay, let's uh, let's get back to hanging out and being social. I have a hard time being social in public with my agoraphobia and getting out of the house. Rip it, rip exactly. Yeah, and the first time I heard that, I was like, "What is that?" But then someone explained it to me, just like I did to you, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." So yeah, I'm using Huron 1 pound. I don't know the name of the color because the tag is long gone. And then I don't even know if it's made anymore because when I started knitting, because I knit before I crocheted, when I started knitting, apparently it was like the Huron like 100-year century celebration. So all the colors were like special for the collection, and so I can't find them anymore. So I got here's what I got. This cup, I don't know if you can see it, but it is a Dolly Parton cup. Um, it's pretty cheap. I got it at Walmart in the party section. It looks better like without liquid in it. But 5 months now. Puff flower blanket. Ooh, that is so cool. So I don't always try to pimp myself out or whatever, but if you want to show off your work, in the description you can see that we have a Facebook group, and that is a great place to show what you're working on, get some feedback, get some praise, all that kind of stuff. Because I think it's really important to not like, it's easy to crochet and like not kind of like in a vacuum where like you don't get any like praise or feedback until you like give a gift or something. And we are here to support you. I give lots of tips. I share lots of tips that I find and stuff. So if you want to join, it's called Army of Weirdos. It is the group on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you want to join. I'm not pushing, but I really want to see what you're making, which is why I always throw this out there. Because I feel like I've seen a similar blanket to what you're describing, which that to me is like my attention and skill level. So, it's funny, some things that come easier to people don't necessarily come easier to other people. But if you wanted to share, if you wanted to join, it's called Army of Weirdos. There are a couple groups with the same name. We're the one with the green rectangular pillow that says that I made. So if you want to join, you're welcome to. It's a little crude, a little rude. It's not rude. Everyone's very supportive and nice in there. But if you join, show off your work, give some tips, learn some tips, please feel free, but no pressure. Oh, thank you. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I like, if you want to show that off, I'm totally down. I'm down for anyone showing their work. Also, Winter and Crystal both have their YouTube pages. will post their work. They're both very different in what they post, both amazing. So if you are looking for more crochet um, channels to follow, I highly recommend them. They're so cool. And I'm constantly in awe of both of their individual skills. I mean, just stuff that I couldn't even dream of. So check them out if you're looking for more crochet channels. I tend to do more non-conventional projects. You're not a crochet channel anymore. Okay, so I missed something. So what happened there? If you want to talk about it, if you don't, that's fine. Um, um, I think I just searched and got 2 hits. Yeah, so we're the one with the green pillow. It's a green rectangular pillow. Um, but if you want to hook that yarn, Crystal posted a link um, to uh, the the group page directly if you want to join that way instead. Okay, great. I can't wait to accept you into the group. Um, we're pretty chill people. General discussion because just yeah, 20,000 questions about my birthday. I get that. Yeah, I don't know how I haven't. Sometimes it bothers me to like constantly repeat myself, but then I'm like, I've popped into lives like plenty of times, and but I understand. Like, I'm not blaming you at all. But like for me, it's like I'm like, oh well, I pop into lives like 20 minutes in or an hour in or whatever, and I'm like, what's going on? So, but I try not to be too annoying because I do understand that like getting asked the same question about crochet over and over again is a little difficult because it can drive you a little nuts unless you're me, and then it will drive you very nuts because you are some person but I don't talk about it as much unless it's the spend time or something. Okay, that makes sense. That's so cool, Nifty, that you picked up crochet again. I feel like the thing is, like at the beginning of learning to crochet or crochet again, you, you know, everything seems so hard. You're like, where's the stitch? What am I supposed to go into? And then, like once you kind of like get back on the bicycle, start to um, start to get more comfortable with it, you can really have a lot of fun with what you're doing. So I really can't wait to see what you're doing. Sounds really cool. Um, we have a lot of fiber artists in the Army of Weirdos group, and I mean, I like it never ceases to amaze me just the level of creativity that goes into things into what people make, and it just constantly inspires me to try new things, to be different, to whatever. So, so I think you'll really enjoy the group. I hope you do, and it's super fun that you picked up crochet again. I know that you know when we learn to knit or crochet with people that we love or tolerate in my case. Um, and then when we start doing it again, there's that level of like love in it. Oh my gosh. Ew. A realistic portrait of my pet and you're only charging 70 US dollars. Thought it was above me. Like above you like a skill you couldn't handle. Yeah, if I had $1 for just this week of, like, all of the people who have, like, basically ghosted me or sent me gross messages on Facebook, Marketplace, I would have enough money to buy more yarn. Alright, sorry, the heart is kind of in the way. $70 for a plushie, about 14 inches. Yeah, that's, I mean, so, like I mean, I totally understand what you're saying because, like, I have someone who wants a baby blanket, but they're gonna go to Hobby Lobby, which I'm like, "You better buy enough yarn because I'm not going to Hobby Lobby, to buy, like, more yarn because their yarn's expensive," and also I consider that, maybe the final layer of hell, and, then, they were gonna buy their own yarn, and I just kept on thinking, like, I was gonna charge $50 or start at $50 for handmade, like, 4 by 4 baby blanket, which is, like, a little large for the baby blanket, um, and then, including yarn, and you're gonna buy yarn, and they're gonna find out, and they want, like, chenille or, like, blanket yarn, and I'm like, "You're about to spend $35 on yarn, and I'm not gonna do this, like, for $15." So, you've got another thing coming. I tried to give you a better alternative. And they're like, "Oh, I'll try to find, like, this color and that color and whatever." Because they didn't tell me they wanted chenille yarn, blanket yarn, because, like, I know where to get it for decent prices, I know where to look for sales and stuff like that, but, like, they're going to a place where, like, yarn is very expensive, very rarely on, like, a decent sale, if you ask me, and, um, and I'm like, "Just a heads up, like, Hobby Lobby is gonna be more expensive, and I'm not taking that amount purely out of your, the cost of things because you didn't know how to, like, get a good deal on things, you know what I mean? So, like, that's where people do not understand the cost of yarn and, like, also the amount of hours that, yeah, exactly, it sucks. I do not support it. I'm like, if you wanna buy it, I guess, like, it can't be like, "Well, I don't agree with Hobby Lobby because if you're gonna buy it, I mean, it's your money, whatever." But so I just kept my mouth shut on that one. Like I didn't voice my semi-political views on that because your choice. If you saw the conversation I had in about the hate chicken, honestly, like, so we have this shopping center here, and Hobby Lobby and the hate are in the same um, uh, shopping center, and I am just like every time I have to like drive by, and it's with like Michaels and stuff like that, and then Joanne is across the street, which is nice to have everything in one place. But every time I drive by it, I'm like, you know. um, okay, so let's see. So we have all of the 18-inch, not 18-inch, 18 centimeters. Okay, so let me yeah, it's like when people like invalidate your existence because a chicken sandwich tastes so good. I'm like, okay, Gail, you are in Army of Weirdos. Yay! Got a ball. That's pretty sweet because, like, I mean, the Canadian dollar is worth like less than the U.S. dollar, right? Right now, and usually, a guy that they're trying to do right in society, they genuinely care now. If they're cutting them, maybe like cutting some, yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, what are they trying to improve? Oh my gosh, look at this little peep, like plushie. That'd be so cute as like a catnip toy. I'm obsessed. Um, oh, and this is a blanket with like amigurumi little. It says amigurumi, but I don't think that's amigurumi. But like little cat heads on it. So cute. I love Facebook. It's constantly inspiring me. Um, said I was threatening them and calling them evil for not giving them a chance the space or whatever. Yeah, I don't really understand what that person's deal was, but it's like you can do whatever you want with your money. I'm not gonna stop you, but like please understand the impact that like your dollars and yeah, that doesn't sound like you at all. It could be like you're evil. You can call like a company evil, but like I don't think that that's like, you to be like you're evil for eating this. But like it's like when you have people around you that this is their life and um sorry, I'm trying to like multitask, so it's not working. Um this is their life and okay, so the next one is 21 centimeters. The next one is 27. Whoa, we made a big jump here. Okay, so next one is 21. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget it. Um, no, the kitty blanket, so cute. I should have shared it. I did that. Okay, so I'm gonna share that in Army of Weirdos just for inspiration. It's not a pattern, but like, boy, is it cute. I can't tell if it's like part of the blanket, which I don't know if it would be comfortable because there's safety eyes in it. But like, man, is it cute. Okay. So let us tomato. But like, here's the thing: it's like you can do whatever you want with your money, and you can be like, well, I don't agree with this company's politics, but I still want to enjoy the the company's goods, right? You can do that. You're within your right as a free person to do that and make that decision. But it's important that you understand the impact that it has on people. The hate chicken place, like, is very open, and also HL, they're very open about like their commitment to like conversion therapy, and how they think that being queer is like evil and stuff like that. And it's like, well, it's like if you have friends or acquaintances in the LGBTQ plus community, like what does it say to them when you would rather get like a certain type of yarn or a chicken sandwich, um, despite the effect that that money that you paid will have on their lives. These companies fund politicians that make decisions that directly impact our lives. Hey Tammy, welcome in. So like I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but I just want you to consider what it means when you make decisions like that. It's an election year here, and I do try to stay like as like non-political as possible because to me, I it's I think everyone should be allowed to have their opinions, but there are a lot of things happening in the world right now where you just have to be mindful and think about things fully. And you can, at the end of the day, you can still make the same decision you were going to make, but let's be informed about our decisions. Tammy, thank you so much for asking. I'm doing better. I'm getting out of my depressive episode. I'm starting to feel like a little itch of like maybe like a hypomanic um, thing happening, but I'm trying to kind of keep it under control. And we'll see. So hopefully, I can kind of stabilize a little bit because I need to. I need to stabilize desperately. How are you doing, Tammy? How's everyone doing, by the way? I didn't ask because I'm very rude. I feel like I'm doing something wrong because, okay, so let me look at the screenshot again. because I'm a little confused. Okay, so 12. Okay, so it's all the bones. 12. Uh, Actually, shit, have I been doing the wrong size the whole time? Um, I'm so confused. Okay, supposed to blanket on. Sorry to hear that you guys had. It's okay. I'm bipolar, so these things happen. I fell over. What are you doing? Oh no, I'm so sorry. Falls are terrible. Okay, so there's 7 bone segments. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, right? And so, um, it says, shit, I think I did it wrong. It says this is supposed to be 12. This is supposed to be 14. This is supposed to be 16. This is supposed to be 18. And this is supposed to be 21. All my counts are wrong. This person is so confusing. I'm sorry, but this person is so confusing. Um, like that's not at all what they said. Okay, so let's see. I think it posted that twice. Okay. Oh my gosh. Gail, that is wonderful. Um, that the stitch is beautiful. I would love to know what yarn you use, 'cause to me it looks a lot like the New Year's Eve um, yarn uh, from Hirschner's, but it doesn't have the sparkle in it. Wow, those puffs are gorgeous. I love the color variation. Oh, that is a dream. Oh my gosh, and, like, when you zoom out, it's beautiful, but when you zoom in, you can really see the detail. Wow, everyone check that out. Forgot my hook at home, so I'm not able to crochet. I need to have backups. Yeah, I tried to I haven't done this in a while, but I used to have, like, I used to have, like, crochet hooks everywhere. Um, I think you're learning great because that pattern is freaking beautiful. Okay, so the top 3 I already have sewn in and, like, cut to size. I have to undo them, and then I have to redo or I have to add to the strips, and yeah, exactly. Like, I know so um, I have, like, travel hooks. Most of my hooks are in my little thing, so this isn't full by any means, but, like, this is just, like, a cheap set I got that is tapered hooks. Um, and so it went up to, I think, a 6 maybe, and then it goes down to, like, lace weight, which I I don't know if I'll ever use because that intimidates the shit out of me. Um, but yeah, so, like, having travel hooks is nice. They may not be your favorite hooks, but they're at least something that you can have. And I think because that's the hook I started crocheting, those are the hooks I started crocheting with. And uh, and so like, they're not my favorite hooks, but they're like good enough to get me through tough, tough times, if you will. I honestly, I'm looking at like where I sew this in, and I'm like, I have no idea how to undo this without just straight up cutting into it, which is not my ideal situation. Okay, so let me see. Ugh, this is frustrating. Do you think it would be easier to go in with an a needle or I don't know, or use my hook. Okay, so I think maybe this is okay. So we're getting, and I'm like trying to pull it so I can see where the tension is. I think maybe this is it. Okay. Ah. So I am making a custom rib cage. What did I call it earlier? Like a rib cage harness type thing. It's a commission that I'm doing for a friend. It has already started to take quite a while, um, and then I made a mistake. So I'm having to go in and undo all of these. I'm gonna use a needle. I'm gonna use a metal needle so that I gotta be careful that I don't split my yarn. But but I also need to get a little bit more detail oriented. But I think a plastic needle might break. I'm so frustrated because it was so confusing getting the instructions for this freaking thing. And now I'm gonna do it again. But I'm very calm. I'm very in control of my emotions. So I'm not going to it and burn this on fire like I want to. I'm cool. I'm a cool dad. Okay, so now we're getting some. Once you kind of get the ball rolling, it's a little bit easier. And luckily, I kind of had like a method to the madness when I was setting this on. I didn't just like willy nilly sew things on, so it makes it easier to. Okay, so do you all quite a bit of frogging? Uh, yeah, frogging. Hey, hello, welcome in. I'm having to undo some of the work that I've done on this harness because uh, the instructions were a little confusing to me, and no blame or shame on the person who wrote them, but it's been pretty confusing, if I'm being honest. So I'm just trying to do things right so I can get this done. It's very tedious. There's a lot of moving parts. I'm fine. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, so what's like, okay, so I'm sure everyone has a project they're trying to work on that just was like, it just ended in catastrophe. What it, or like maybe you started a ball of yarn and the barf got too tangled or something like that. What's like the most crazy, extreme, whatever, set this project on fire and start anew because I have to undo pretty much all of the roots because the measurements in the video were different than the measurements in another part of the video. At least I think so, but who knows? Okay. So I'm gonna like add to it. Um, so but okay, so uh the whole world, yes, winter, cleanse. Uh, so um okay, no, I don't want to do that one. That one should be correct. Let's get a little measure. I'm still done. You're finally done? No, not even close. I'm having to undo everything and do it again. Which timestamp? Later. Uh, so, okay, so let's see. So, um, the so it's 9 centimeters on the top. said it's a Dolly Parton song. I have my Dolly Parton cup here. It's hard to see because the metallic, but I found this at the Walmart in Walmart in the like party section. She looks less possessed when there's no liquid in there, but whatever. Okay, so these measurements are, in my professional opinion, all wrong. And I don't really know what to do about it because let's see. So like let me like it just like none of this is coherent. Like I am like, do I need to undo the whole thing? Oh yeah, I don't use the Stanley because I'm poor. I have like both Stanleys. Okay, so that's 12 right there. Okay, so maybe should I just like undo all of the ribs and just reposition everything? Also, like for me, like Stanleys aren't like the end all be all of cups. They're a little big for my taste. I do like a lot of Starbucks cups, but like I have two. Hey, Mellow. I think I'm gonna undo everything. I know it's crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's just like just keep it cheap, keep it simple. Okay, I'm gonna undo everything, and you might be like, Ian, you bizarre, crazy person. And to that, I say, you are crazy. Um, but I'm gonna bring the shoulders up a little bit, and I think that that's gonna help me get my measurements right. Because honestly, the measurements have been fucked. Like they're so fucked. I'm getting a measurement from the frog. Oh my nose rings are all tangled inside my nose. I'm not picking my nose. I promise. They're just little. There we go. Sometimes my sip gets hooked inside my nose. Okay. So yes, so we're doing a lot of frogging right now. And I have to tell the client that like, hey, the pattern that I was following, should I tell them? Because I haven't given them the exact date, so I don't know if I should or not. But like, I don't think I should. But like, oh yeah, when mellow, um, I'm doing, I guess, all right. Maybe I don't know. I'm kind of in between mood swings with my bipolar, so I was feeling really depressed for the past like close to a week, and then now I'm kind of starting to swing the other way. And for those of you who don't know, yes, I do have bipolar. I'm not looking for mental health advice at this point. Um, like I appreciate people looking out for me and trying to give me tips, but like honestly, like I have a full team of people like helping me out, and if I want input, like I know where to get it. So just a heads up, like if you give me like you're like just go for a walk or something like that, I'm just gonna ignore it because it's not super helpful for me right now. Um, but where the hell is and when you sew in the ends too well, when you can't find anything. I'm just gonna start pulling on stuff and hopefully something springs loose. Um, gosh, where is it? Um, so yeah, yeah, just make sure. So with old water bottles, like with like a plastic water bottle, you gotta be careful because some of them, if you leave them in like warm cars or something, they they do they can release chemicals into the water. As far as I know, I'm not an expert, so please don't quote me on that. But that's just something that I've heard. So having something that's able to be, yeah, yeah. Anytime someone's like, just move, just do this, I'm like, just no. I have like literally like chemical problems in my brain. Just stop. That's not super helpful advice because you're like, I wish I could. Yeah, exactly, Crystal. Okay, I cannot find the end of this yarn. I usually my ends stick out a little bit because I suck at this. I might do some like felting in the future, but ugh, I cannot. Like usually they stick out a little bit. This is not sticking out at all. Where's the fucking end of this yarn? Am I doing this right? Even I don't know. So there's an end here, but I don't really want to get rid of that. Yeah. Frustrating. Okay, hey, Crystal, other Crystal. We have so many crystals. I love it. I thought it was the only one. I change it once every 2 days because it might be. Okay, yeah. Cool. Coming outside can help, i.e., but it won't fix it. Yeah, exactly. It's always like good to like get some. Yeah, I think sometimes autocorrect changes that. So always give people the benefit of the doubt. The one who said that. That's something. Okay, yeah, okay. Um, so I'm trying to find the end. I've never sewn in an end this well. Kind of like, what do I do with this information? Oh, there it is. Yeah. I hate I hate this level of frogging. It's not just like you take a time. It's like no, you just got to go real hardcore into it. Ian, you should record like buying yarn and packing orders. It might be fun. Yeah, my process of buying yarn is absolutely chaotic and horrible. Because I put a lot of stuff in my cart, I take a lot of stuff out, and then I put more stuff in my cart. I take a lot of stuff out, and it goes like that a couple times. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that might be a little chaotic, but I can always try. Also, it's weird because a lot of stores have music. Um, okay, so let's see. Um, my biggest thing to help my mood is to journal and to have a hug cry, but that is me. No, I totally understand that. So I had a bunch of things happen this week, and one of them was like trying to find a new therapist, and they were like, and I've never had this happen, but they're like, can you describe in detail like your uh, basically PTSD and trauma? And it, like decent, like it was like whatever to like write it out, and but like afterwards, usually like when I like vomit stuff out, like on paper, like I don't reread it because it's just like shocking for me. But I reread it just to make sure that it made sense and kind of gave a pretty clear picture of my trauma. And um, uh, and it was so depressing. And uh, yeah, there's so many meds out there. I'm on a lot of meds. I understand. I think it's really important. I'm fully aware that meds aren't for everybody, but like, for me, like, it's part of my future, right? Like, being bipolar, you're kind of destined to a life of medication, and like, I've had to come to terms with that, and It's better this way than the other way for sure. Um, and uh, so yeah, notion to people who have to take meds. So I already did the giveaway. I don't believe that I've received any messages. When let me check really quick. And if so, where do you buy the crochets? Tell me what you mean by that because I'm not quite sure what you're asking about. So yeah, give me a little clarification so that I can give you some info. Let's post. Alright, let me check my. For some weird reason, I don't get notifications from this particular email. Yeah, so let's see what I posted. Hi Richie, how do I crochet? So I'm a dude. Crystal, I don't know if that was necessary. Um, there's a lot of amazing YouTube tutorials. I actually learned how to crochet. It's called, I don't know what it's called. It's a crochet. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways to crochet. I learned a lot on YouTube. It's free. And I really, that's basically what I did. So, okay. I didn't give Madonna a timeline. Um, okay, let's see. What's the best way to contact Madonna? Okay. Sorry, one second. Okay. Sorry, let me give her a message. To claim clover crochet. Oh, sorry, I can only do like one thing at a time. Okay, I meant to put like a deadline on there, but I didn't. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, medicine is high Richie. Oh no worries. Uh, some people take me. I see. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah. Okay. Hey everyone, thank you very much for the help. Yeah, that's why, which is why your use is ADH meds. Yeah. I learning how to crochet. Oh, cool. So this came in clutch. Well, welcome, Richie. If you want to, I've pimped this out a little bit, but we have a group on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, I want to join, called Army of Weirdos, where if you're learning how to crochet and you run into problems, you can ask for help and stuff like that. It's a great community. It's fairly small, but that means that you actually get seen and stuff like that. If you search Army of Weirdos on on Facebook, there's a couple things that come up, but we're the one with the green rectangular pillow that says fuck. So, um, so I am actually about to start eventually uh, uh, non-STEM uh, ADHD. Yeah, I mean, meds are always super difficult. Thank you for the help. We have a good little community. Honestly, it's so great. We have such a good community. I'm so happy to like have you all in my life. And like honestly, we're all learning from each other. We're all getting better. And that's like really the thing. If you come in there and you are willing to like learn and um, you know be kind to people, I mean, you will find nothing but support and love from people, and that is really fantastic. That's the kind of message that I want to send. Yeah. So, and like, for, a heads up, like a lot of us are queer, neurodivergent, trans. Um, yeah, I know. I would have, I think I would have loved to be a doctor, but I think I'm a little bit too close to the situation right now. Where the fuck is my needle? Um, uh, but I mean, I already did like a really difficult career and burned out on that one when I became disabled. So, we're not going to med school. When I got my degree, my uncle came and he was like, I can't wait to see you go to like fucking. He said this weird thing. I was like, and I've never expressed any interest in law. Let that be clear. And um, uh, I've never went. And he, I can't wait to see you cross the stage when you're becoming a lawyer. And I was like, why would I want to be a fucking like that's not me, y'all. I'd rather be a doctor first, but I really loved it. I really did. It was very stressful, but I loved it. But then, if I went out as a young person, I would love to be a holistic therapist. That would be wonderful. So Divergent, okay, so Divergent actually has evolved in language, um, uh, and you know, so Uh, neurodivergent used to be a term for anyone who is not neurotypical, i.e., had no mental illnesses, no mental uh, uh, difficulties, I suppose. But now it's become a term that is pretty much exclusively used for people who are either on the autism spectrum disorder uh, spectrum or people who have ADHD, either type. ADD is no longer used. It got absorbed into the ADHD um, bucket. So now there's two types of ADHD. There's hyperactive, which used to be just ADHD, and there's inattentive, which used to be ADD. It's cheap, very smart. Um, if, when you came out, if you don't want to share. Mellow, yeah, that's totally fine. Well, so I mean, I came out multiple times, right? So I initially came out as a lesbian. Everyone was super cool. But like, it was kind of a weird experience because like apparently like everyone that like was in my life, and I came out when I was 15 or so, and everyone who was in my life was like, "Yeah, we know, and this is there," which is kind of weird because you get really nervous about coming onto people that you that you uh, love, and then people are like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Fuck." But when I came out as trans, a lot of people were very surprised, and so the reason why is because I generally present very fat, very um, effeminate, I suppose. And so, like, um, you know, uh, like people were like, "Why do you want to be a guy?" Um, So Divergent, the movie is very different from from what neurodivergent means in practice in health practice, right? So not quite the same. Divergent is, I mean, it's a fun series, but yeah, it's the books are actually really awful, but the movies are actually more fun than the books, I think personally. But you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Um, so, uh, but yeah, so we're also a lot of people here. Okay, yeah, it was very neurodivergent. Good, yeah. I mean, so I think that like, um, I mean, you know, there's like different. You know, some people just aren't like movie people or TV people, and that's fine. You know, it's cool. Um, but yeah, I happen to know that Divergent Crafter uses Divergent as neurodivergent because we've talked about this before. Um, so I actually used to be a what's called an actuary, which is someone who specializes in mathematics, usually for insurance purposes. So I did a highly technical job uh, where I basically like you know how a lot of companies like yeah maybe you know maybe you don't know um, uh, but uh, it it was a very technical job. I got my degree in math for business, and so I had to do math classes and be very advanced in that. But I also, and it was generally applied math, and then like, which is different than like theoretical math. When they're like, "Oh, we're in space doing this," like that stuff doesn't make sense to me. I'm very practical and so I really liked my job as an actuary. So a lot of companies like to offer health insurance as a benefit to their employees, and I would help them design the plan. So I didn't work for a big company like Blue Cross or Cigna or something like that. Uh, I, um, I worked for a smaller consulting firm. So I would have been doing that, but I became disabled in 2019 and didn't really start the paperwork until much later. So I'm actually waiting like days away. Um, uh, I mean, I really appreciate that, Mello. I used to tutor. I love tutoring. With my disability now, I can't even really look at numbers without getting a lot of anxiety and shutting down. I have no ability to do math anymore, pretty much, unless it's very basic addition or subtraction, which is really tough because I used to be able to do like differential equations, stuff like that. You know, now I can't do that. So I would love to be able to do that, but it's just not. I can't do any math anymore, which which sucks because I did really enjoy it. Math is a, you know I used to do it as my superpower, and now it's like my ultimate weakness. It's the nature of being disabled, right? Like you used to be able to do something, you used to like to do something, you can no longer do it. It's not fun being disabled. You know, I don't think it. Well, I mean, some people say that, but like they don't know shit. um, but like it's very mentally hard to be disabled. There's a person who has a polar diagnosis. She has. Finally, found the end. Wow, I really sewed these up well. I never sew things up well, but for some reason, I really sewed these up well. Um, so let's see. So we've undone all of this side, and then we need to undo this side, and then I need to redo all of these. I used to, um, being a counselor. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I also love that. Loved algebra. I used to love algebra. That was jam. Pre-calc wrecked me, but I did actually love calculus. I love probability statistics. Yeah, I tutored from ages. I tutored pretty much from like elementary school to I used to work with a travel tutor um, and undo that one spot and just crochet where to remove. So the problem is that every single rib piece is wrong. Yeah, I love math. I do life coaching, so and I do it for free. I just ask that you be committed to it. If you want to find my life coach page, I think you have the Instagrams. I haven't been keeping up with it, but let me see if I have. I don't have my. Thank you for mentioning Winter. Yeah, if you want, basically, so there is a big difference um, between a therapist and a um, a life coach. A life coach is more like a friend who who can kind of listen to you, give you some advice, but um, isn't a counselor. So if you are interested in that, let me put that in the chat because we can't afford it. I can't go to school and learn something because we can't afford it. I can't keep buying. Yeah, Mello, talk about what's going on. I don't want you to feel alone or anything. Yeah, tell me what's going on. But the reason I do it for free now, um, yeah, I just for me, like I wanted to serve underserved communities, and I was gonna charge like a really low amount, and then I realized like, hey, for me, like what might be a really low amount might still be pretty high for other people. Um, so I just wanted to make sure people had resources to go to if they needed additional help. So yeah, we do love everyone here. This is a community of love and support and friendship, and I've made some great friends in this community that can support you. I talk a lot about my mental health, my physical health, my disability. Like I talk a lot about that here, and so like if you ever need to talk about stuff like this is a good community. If you want to share that, if you don't want to share it online, I understand. You can always message me on my life coach page. We can talk about it. Because like for me, like serving communities and serving underserved communities are very important for me. I tried to do something like that, but because I have not been through a life coaching program, I found a lot of people did not want to pay me. If people want to pay me, cool. But like, I decided to rather help people than make money, which is gonna maybe like a weird decision. But like, I wasn't really getting any hit with my lower rates that I offered. Okay, so my parents have provided my brother to go to school because he had to pass, so we really don't want him to come. No, okay, Mello, totally understand. Life is hard. Like, if you go through all the people in the chat right now, not one person like life is so easy. Everything is so fun. Everything's great all the time. We all have stuff we're going through, and one person's hard times can't compare directly to another person's. But what we can do, um, what we can do is support each other, help each other through those moments, and really listen to what the other person's saying. And being in a lower income place, or I hope that's okay to say, 'cause that's kind of what I'm picking up on. But just speaking personally, being lower income, it's everything gets magnified so much because money is so important in surviving, and yeah, and so I really like, you know, I I've been in a place where I've been very dependent on my wife to make money, and it's very hard. And I used to be the breadwinner and make the money. She could be like a housewife, and then I became disabled, and everything changed. So I'm very sorry you're going through that. You will find a lot of support and love here. Um, and like we like none of us want you to suffer. None of us want you to go through this. But we've all been through really hard times. I'm just gonna generic or generally say that for everyone. We've all been through hard times, and we still want to support you, and know that you're not alone. All of these moments are temporary, um, and we can get through it together with the support and love of people around us. So I'm very sorry you're going through that. And you never have to apologize for typing something. I might ask for clarification just so I can make sure that I'm saying the right thing, or what I think is the right thing. But you never have to apologize. I like someone uh, said something pretty rude to me on Facebook Marketplace, and at the time I got to like replying to them, like it was barely like you could barely understand what I was trying to say because I was so upset that I could barely type. So I really understand that. Yeah, I heard it too, but I'm building because water, but now it's dry like the desert. I I understand that. My entire life flipped upside down when I became disabled, and I don't know if I talk about like all the details that much more because one, I think people were kind of tired of hearing me talk about it. But like I used to be like in a pretty decent position, but not only yeah, PTSD, CPTSD, a lot of us have it. It's very hard. And just like life is hard, you know? But what is helpful is when you have people to go to, like, hey, I'm having a bad day. Can we talk? Like I said, we have a badass community here, and you all are great, inspire me. Okay, so CPTSD, so PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder, comes from a traumatic experience. And CPTSD is technically not a diagnosis. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual 5, which is often referred to as DSM-5, which is the kind of like the Bible of like mental health practice. And so complex CPTSD. Hey, Purple Pickle, that's a fun name. Yeah, and so CPTSD generally occurs when people have prolonged or multiple instances of traumatic experiences that kind of compound on each other. Um, and yeah, so CPTSD is often treated a little differently because these are things that happen repeatedly. Like I have it, but like again, it's not like a technical diagnosis, but it's treated differently. So it's important for your care team to know. Um, it can manifest in a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. Oh, okay, still in leather. Okay, cool. Well, welcome, leather. I was like, I was like, what's with everyone the leather names? I'm digging it. But purple paper leather sounds like just, I don't know. It sounds right. I dig it. I like that. But yeah, so we have a great community of support here. Would you all mind if I ran to the restroom really quickly? Because I really have to be, you know, pee my pants, pee my boxers. So I'll be right back. You can hang out if you want. It should just be like a couple seconds. So be right back. Mm. Okie dokie, and I'm back. Where is the thing? Let me check the chat. On. So we hear about it on the streets. Well, it's just good fun. Oh, I love that. Okay, let me catch up. Let me go again. Thank you, Nifty. I really appreciate that. I try to be educational and helpful to people. Earrings. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Bastion, welcome in. I am frogging a bunch of fucking fuckery that I'm making because measurements were wrong, or measurements were confusing in the instructions, and now I am forced to make a bunch of changes. So I'm going to undo a lot of my work, and I am not happy. Thank you all for hanging out and waiting for me. Sorry about that, but nature calls, whatnot. Alright, so I am just undoing a lot of the work that I'm doing, or that I've done. Uh, Facebook has AI typing now. I was messing with that earlier. A bunch of people are trying to break the algorithm. You'll have to tell me more about that because I don't quite know what you're talking about. If I'm being honest. I'm just gonna start assuming everyone is AI and just fuck with them. Uh, Sometimes I'm like, why did I say these ends? Never happened to me before. Usually my ends are very chaotic, as I've described many of my actions. Chaos reigns supreme up in this house. Um, but I find the needle, like the needle, a lot easier than trying to go in and use a crochet hook. Okay, bye Tammy. Thank you for hanging out. We're just writing a bunch of gay stuff to try to implement it into the algorithm. I love it. That makes me super happy. You don't have to be queer to be gay. You just have to be happy. You can also be queer. Welcome that. I love so this is like before the days of AI, but like I used to I haven't seen this happen in a very long time. But like there was like a time where like people didn't understand like cookies. Made a sandwich while you were pottying. Yeah, I did not make a sandwich while I was pottying. I'm glad you made a sandwich. um, and gotta nourish the body and the mind. Um, but I like people, especially like older people, generally, mm, who were like, "I'm tired of all these gay porn uh, ads on my face," and it's like, well, people didn't understand these, and to this day, that still makes me smile because you're just revealing your secrets, you know, to the world. So so yeah, I that was really funny. Like this, I'm tired of all these gay porn things, and then just like you wonder how I got there. Really? Yeah, especially like people who tended to be openly anti-LGBT, and they'd be like, "I'm getting all these ads." Like, you know what you're doing. You just told the world what you're doing. I hope you realize that. Know that. No shame in the game, but maybe don't be such a hypocrite. Uh, let's see. One more time. undo. Actually, I have one more to undo. One more rib to undo, and then I've got to change the shoulder straps to be a little different. Uh, I don't know what happened between the language of the uh, the beginning part of the video and then the measurements she gave at the end. Yeah. But, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm really happy to have such an amazing community surrounding me, that gives me and my friends support and love. I think that we have like a really cool group of people, and I think that we all feel like we're good we're good at meeting people where they're at. Uploads of yarn ads. I don't know why. Yeah, I do a hard pass on the phone. Okay, now I want to I gotta change my music. Yeah, no, I know. Mm, 6:30. Okay, so I might get off in like 20 minutes or so to do like a process group with my old team. But I don't worry, I will be back on time. Okay, where? Oh, no, I hate light colored yarn. Where the two ends are tied together, it should be against the wall. No, I totally understand. No, your humor is always welcome, Chris. Sarcasm is a language that we speak on this channel. It crosses all other languages and makes a really good time for all. Oh, it's gonna change the music because it sucks. Oh, I accidentally liked it. I don't want to unlike it. Okay, I don't. Okay, I'm just gonna turn on some dancing music so I can get my jam on. Hey, Kibia, welcome on. Um, very nice few. Okay, so let's. Okay, so I'm turning on Dua Lipa so I can. I'm gonna have so many ends to sew in. Uh, use the magic joint. Exactly. Yeah. It's probably too much time, honestly, to do that, but it's just easier to do that. Okay, so now that I've undone all the ribs except the top one, I'm going to take this arm strap and move it because it's currently sitting at 9 centimeters and they need to sit at 12 because apparently those are the measurements that I should have been following, but nobody told me nothing. Let me just double check. Yeah, so it should be 12 centimeters. But for some reason, she was like counting this number of things and then put it there. And I'm just like, bleh. I don't know how I'm going to undo this part. I might have to cut it, but I don't really want to. I think I'm gonna have to. Damn it. Like I can undo where I attached it, but like I can't. Yeah, Dollar Tree yarn is great. If you get the Premier Dollar Tree yarn, I like it. I don't really like the Crafters Corner, but that's just a personal choice. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I don't cut the wrong. This like hurts my fucking heart right now. I hate this. Is anyone else suffering with me right now? Right. Oh, no. Yeah, so like the Crafters Corner is garbage. You gotta get the Premier stuff. But you can also, if you know you want to try some of the Dollar Tree yarn, you can buy a lot of it on the you can buy a lot of it on the Dollar Tree website. You just have to buy it in bulk, and it's like all the same colors, so you can't do like color variations or anything like that. I've only used Premiere hard to get there yet. Yeah, Premiere is very weird. Frogging is brutal. Yeah, and like having to cut into it, I'm like, ooh, ooh, bleh, bleh, bleh. And then I'm just gonna try to get this one out with you. 7 with Diva Station. I need a Michael's 40 minutes right now. This one. Oh, yeah. And like shipping on websites is so expensive. You have to wait for sales. I'm just like, boo, this sucks. I need you to be more cooperative, yarn. Otherwise, I'm gonna start just cutting into you brutally. Okay, I literally can't find where this comes from. Loosen to soft classics, cheap tuning, good for the quantity, and it works well for plushies. Yeah, it's like you buy metal hooks from the dollar store as well. Nice. Yeah, mine only has like one or two sizes of plastic. So for a ball, loops and threads, 25% off. Okay, so loops and threads, was it the like plushy yarn? Uh, was it the like regular loops and threads? Because they're wanting to put their like highlighter colors, the neons. Not right now though. Yeah. Okay. I think we have to order online. Yeah, it's like shopping online is so annoying, and you gotta wait for everything, and then sometimes it's not the right order, not what you asked for, blah blah blah, and you're like, time for this. I think we're oftentimes so accustomed to the immediate gratification of going to the store and finding what we want. But like I found for me personally that like I'm not like really finding what I want in stores anymore. Like I want someone like interesting yarn. Like I know the basics of the yarns that I like as well. And but like for me, I just like I like I don't know. I want something more interesting. I want something that piques my interest, and I want like a yarn that is like a reasonable price because I need it to be because I am broke as a joke. Yeah, I haven't seen any metal hooks, but that's the thing is like depending on your Dollar Tree, it can just be like it can be totally different. Okay, so I think I got less of this particular one. Nope. Okay, where you going, boo? And I like the metal hooks, metal needles that have like a little curve at the end, little bent end. Now these are fairly expensive if you go in store. If you go on Amazon, they're very inexpensive. Same thing with stitch markers. I have a whole set somewhere, and so like stitch markers, like if you bought like these stitch markers from on Froggy. Ooh, I would love to see that. Froggy is so sweet. She's just such a sweet person. I love her. I haven't been able to catch any in real life. If you go to Joanne, these are like $5.99 for like 20. But I found a container that had like 500 for the same price on Amazon. So those are the types of things like you should order on Amazon. They're a lot less expensive. Okay. So now I have this strap undone, right? So now I have to figure out how the fuck to attach it. Okay, so I think we need to get rid of all of these extra little threads. I don't know how to because everything is like connected. Maybe if I frog like the entire row, then we'll get rid of like the extra threads or something. I don't know. I hate this. I hate this so much. Give you one a frost hook. Oh, sweet. That is awesome. Yeah, my Dollar Tree has acrylic ones. It isn't right. Yes. Oh my gosh. I totally understand. I'm very tactile as well. So I kind of need to touch something, but like, I kind of read the reviews and try to understand. Like, if I know different types of yarn well enough, then um, I can usually assume. But sometimes I get like a small amount. Cotton acrylic blends. Yeah, I do find that ice yarns is good for cotton acrylic blends. Um, for me, if I get cotton, I get pure cotton. Just because when I use cotton, I need it for a certain reason. Okay, so I think that just made it worse. I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to be very clear that I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Okay, so some of these are starting to come out now, and I feel like if I can start, um, if I can start from this and like work into the the correct thing. Okay, but first I have to do the other one as well. I would rather work with black yarn. Light yarn actually hurts my eyes a lot, but yeah, black yarn for this particular instance would be challenging. You are correct. But generally, I like using black yarn better than I like using lighter yarn. If I was using black yarn, I would just be like, we're starting over. Honestly, I probably should have started over. It would have been like a little faster, but I just couldn't stand to go through that video again. It's killing me. Like they were just for me a little bit. Hey Lydia, um, I like cotton feel, but not the weight. So a cotton acrylic line is best for. Ooh, good point. Good point. Okay, so we cut that one, and then we get this yarn out of the way. I feel like it's frogging something. Oh, yeah, we can just get rid of that because that's all wrong. Anyways, I did a couple of those. Um, so let me get rid of this one, and then we'll just start over pretty much. I did all my measurements wrong because like the video was so confusing. Anyways, so I'm like literally frogging. I just like all the stuff I like sewed on. I'm glad I didn't sew on more because I was like I've been extra cooked. So yeah. I'm just waking up. Okay. Or two-way cotton, so I don't. Yeah, exactly. I haven't worked much with two-way cotton except for a couple roommates. Alright, so now we are back to the underwear stage, although it's got a lot more ribs now. So I'm gonna adjust where these strips are attached so that I'm gonna fix this first. So um, we can we can get this ball rolling. This sucks. I should have started over. I should have started over. It's too late now, but like I should have started over. Alright, what do I do with this? I'm just like unraveling it in like the stupidest, weirdest way, and it's really frustrating. I hate doing backwards frogging. That like hurts my. What do you think is the best for making soft slippers? So I'm not the person to ask. I've never used slippers. Someone I do know who makes a lot of slippers is Little John's Yarn. Let me find her page. Um, she's amazing. She makes a lot of slippers. Um, and she a lot of the time she uses it, I believe, but she can maybe give you some tips where to start. Um, the thing is, I think with chenille, like a lot of times, like that can be really slippery. Even if you put like hot glue or something on the bottom, I think you still might have some problems. But Little John's Yarns has a ton of slipper patterns. Last time I checked, and maybe we'll have some advice on good yarn to use. But I've never made slippers before. Oh my gosh! So I watched John Wick 3 the other night. So good, so good. Yeah, I haven't watched her in a while, but I love Alicia. I think she's such a funny, like, unique spirit. Like, I just love that she has like a box of wine for yarns. To me, that's like queen behavior, and I dig it. Um, okay, so this is taken off as well. So now we can get back to assembly. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. We have a lot of ribs free floating, and we're gonna fix that by repositioning where we put our okay. So we're gonna use by okay. Uh I'm going to go with divergent crafters advice and by follow up like yarns. Yep. Yeah, I mean definitely. Um yeah, and like there's a ton of ways to like make your bottoms. I just yeah, some yarn is very slippery, so yeah, I don't that's necessarily the best, but like blanket yarn usually isn't as slippery as like chenille, in my experience. Um, yeah, so just make sure whatever you're making, you're taking care of you. But it seems like there's a lot of people in the group who have better advice, which I'm cool with. I'm totally cool with people with better advice. It's not hard, honestly. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm gonna take a new piece of yarn and we're gonna connect it to where this one originally started. So we're kind of gonna kind of backwards engineer, reverse engineer this strip. So hopefully it seems like one strip. I'm gonna go and put this on the back so that hopefully this is less noticeable. Okay, let's just try to make this happen. Okay. Chenille doesn't have to be expensive. There's a bunch of different resources. If you live in the States, you have access to Dollar Tree, Premier, Dollar Tree chenille. Um, like I said, it might be a little slow. It's a very slippery yarn, um, but it's still comfortable. Um, so chenille doesn't have to be expensive. There's a lot of different options out there. I think my favorite place for chenille yarn is probably Premier. And just wait for a sale. Is it painted frog? Yeah, true. There's a lot of yarns that are painted frog. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to figure out how to affix this. I heard. Oh yeah, if it is a pain in the ass, then you're just like, nah, just use anything else, and I'll just end this torture for me. Okay, so I'm going to slip knot this first little chain, and I might go ahead and do like slip knots across. And try to tuck the tail in so it's one less thing to sew. Okay. I'm definitely not making this to fit her because I'm done sewing. Yeah. Usually with Chanel I don't have too much of a problem frogging it. It's a blanket yarn I love. Baby. Craftsman value yarn is great. Yeah, Chanel yarn generally doesn't split. You just have to be careful about tying off the ends and stuff like that. Because they get a little they can, it's basically like you're wrapped around a string, and they can be a little fussy. If you get headbutt, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll be like, maybe I told you so. Yeah, I mean, I did see how happy he was. Where's his small face? My pants? You would not like what's underneath. Maybe you wouldn't care about it. I haven't purposely shown the internet. Um, but Mel got me boxers for Project Man. It's not the worst I've ever seen. It's not great. So, yes, some of yeah, maybe. And I'm just trying to sew it so it looks a little bit more cohesive because it's gonna look got a little bump into it. Like an inline to a taper. Yeah, exactly. Changing your hook can definitely make a big difference in the splitting of yarn. Or if you go even to a hybrid hook, that can make a big difference too. A hybrid that leans more towards tapered, but isn't quite fully tapered. Those are usually my favorite. Okay. And Furl still have a clearance sale on certain hooks. Yes. Yeah, furls are technically a hybrid hook that lean a little bit more towards inline, um, but they are a little bit more pricey. It just depends on what your budget looks like. Just being realistic. Okay, so this is 16 centimeters. Hey, Dinky Crafts, Jennifer, welcome in. Welcome in. We got a good conversation going here. Yeah, clovers I do like. It's the grip that kind of hurts my hand. So I have to be careful about using them. Okay. So I'm going to stretch it. Okay, so it's exactly at 60. That works out well. I guess if you cut off a row, you add one row. It makes sense. And so, because I need to make sure this is folded the right way, so I gotta. Is this right? Am I stupid? Okay, this is right. Does anyone else have those moments when you're like, I'm done? Okay, so yes, I know we're gonna sew this on, and I'm gonna use my crochet hook short, and because I already cut off. Okay, so I'm gonna have to add some yarn, which is annoying because it's more things. I know sometimes I stick my tongue out when it's all the way up and then lots of shared. That's a pencil holder with a small hand. Yeah, if you're a pencil holder, I can definitely see how that'd be harder. I'm a knife holder, so um, it's not as bad. Um, yeah, and I just like to grip a lot better. But everyone's different. That's why there's so many hook options because, um, you know, they're we're all pretty different. Crochet a little different. Gotta tighten this format and loop up. So we want it to be nice and smooth if we can help it. I love that everyone, has their own opinion on hooks and that there are so many options for us now. We're really lucky to live, time options. Okay, and one last space here. Okay. So I sewed in those ends. I'm gonna give them a little snip snip. I've sent me like scraps from this repair that it's a little hectic. I'm gonna cut this. So now they're like right next to each other, whereas before they had a lot of space. But this is the only this is exactly the measurement needed to do the measurements that she had at the end, which are different than the measurements she talked about at the beginning. And this is not in any way me trying to shame someone who graciously posted like a free pattern. I don't. I'm grateful. I just, it there were a lot of inconsistencies that my brain just like, blah, 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 I don't understand. Anyone else have that problem? I think it's part of my like executive function problems where like if things don't match up, I'm like, does not compute, does not compute, does not compute. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one up here. I thought everything has to be rainbow. Yes. Really not everything has to be rainbow. Yeah, I love rainbow stuff, so but then it's just like a little overwhelming with like color and I'm like, ah. Okay. So we're almost done sewing this armhole in. This is very annoying. I'm very annoyed with this whole process. And I hope you all know it. If it seems like I'm having fun right now. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this. Okay, so this is what it looks like now, the armhole. And what will happen is we'll start to lengthen some of these, actually all of them, to be to attach to the armhole. And it's going to be the same in the front and the back, um, so that when they put it on, the back's going to have more drape than the front. And if you're wondering how I'm not panicking because this is such a mess, it's raining. And oh yeah, I really want to like. This is really inspiring me. I was thinking about making a bunch of these for Pride and having like a rainbow heart or something, or like rainbow guts or something. So I would, like having them available, but like I just this is so much more work than I expected. That's probably one of the more tedious projects I've done in quite a while. Yeah, I was really excited when I was like, I'm gonna have my Pride booth. This was it was my like main items, but that my dreams dashed by people who tended to dash my dreams. That's all I'll say about that. So I don't know, like if like I don't know, maybe if you all think that like doing a Pride booth would be really cool, uh, anyone help me like financially support me, maybe I'll do a fundraiser for that. Typically my fundraisers haven't done super well, which has been a little annoying because I have a lot of passion and stuff for like helping other people, but like, we're all doing our best. I know that a lot of people here aren't made of money, and I hope that's okay to say because I'm not either. Um, but, you know, I um so if we could get would you all be interested in doing that to help me pay for pride booths and materials to create pride items? I don't know if I could give anything away because that would defeat the purpose. But and I can't do an auction again. I can't like it's that is like one of the most stressful things for me. Um, but yeah, let me know if you'd be interested in like helping me with a fundraiser um, to the Pride booth. It's not too much to like actually get started. It's all the supplies and upfront cost of yarn and stuff like that that really get me. And then when I talk to some people, they're like, just go on Amazon and see what's popular and make that. But like that's not my style. And I don't mean to like hate on anyone who makes more traditional crochet items, but like that's just not what I do. I make very weird things, and I feel like they didn't really understand my business idea. So, and I wasn't even asking them to be like investors, but I love investors. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get this end in here so I can kind of sew it up a little more. But I know there's always gonna be people who like doubt your vision and stuff like that, and that's okay. I'm like tough enough where I can take that. But like this, people pretty much like made me feel like I was an idiot for um, even like thinking about doing what I was gonna do, and they're just like, just make what everyone else makes and sell that. So when would the fun? I mean, honestly, it could be whenever. Um, I just feel, and I don't even know how to like incentivize people to donate because, like, you know, I, like I said, like it wouldn't really make sense for me to like start spending money to send stuff out and not when it wouldn't make sense for me to spend money. But it could be whenever. I wonder when booths go on sale. Let me check. Um, this feels weird. This doesn't feel like the right. Yeah, I think it's the Outcry Festival, June 24th. I'm really excited to show off my new chest. I hope I have a new chest. Um, ooh, Queer Dance Party Lingerie Raid Edition by None After Hours. Yes. Okay, get involved. And organize a promotion with donation of proceeds. No, I just wanna. I don't know. Do I wanna put give them a percentage? Um, let me see. Let's see. Do. So yeah, I'm just doing all this right now in front of y'all. Um, okay. So I filled out the form. So the thing is in so the event is in June. And to start like I've been trying to start making stuff. I've made some things, but like um, so I've tried to like start making stuff, but then I kind of got discouraged. I was like, fuck it. But would so it can be whenever, just the sooner the better, I guess. But obviously, I need some time to organize it, figure out how to incentivize people to support this this venture of mine, and then figure out how how to do it. So, like, I guess I could get people to um, donate items if they wanted to, or I don't know. Whatever what do you all think would help incentivize people to donate to me starting a business venture? I also thought about bringing people on to like, sell their stuff too and then help split costs. That would be really helpful. I could sell like I could sell their products for them, but like I think maybe only Roberta was interested in that, and we kind of like on my part, like we kind of fell through on that. So the sooner the better, but like it doesn't need to be right the second. I'd like go on it. Maybe I don't know. It's gonna be hard with my surgery coming up to do it. So honestly, whenever y'all are ready, I'm I'm ready. Okay, let's make sure we have 60 centimeters here. What would work best for you, Jennifer? Because like obviously, like if I do it at a time where it doesn't really work for anybody, then like that defeats the purpose of having a fundraiser, right? Okay, so I am 57 inches here. Hook. There it is. like for me, this is something really important to support my community, and I really want to help people as much as I can feel comfortable in their own skin, feel safe, feel welcome, instead of adopting various different prices that become more couture items. Potentially, um, some of these items, like I'm making now, I'd make various patterns and stuff like that. I have a couple hand painted like canvases that have different pride flags on them and stuff like that. And all of those things, would be up for sale. But like, my the people who gave me advice were like, make find some things that sell and make like 100 of each of them. And I was like, that's not what I do. Like, I make I can't make 100 of anything. Like, even if I enjoy making it, I can't make 100 of it because I don't enjoy making the same thing over and over again. It's miserable for me. So maybe I'll put some questions in Army of Weirdos. If you're on Facebook and you would like to be part of Army of Weirdos, you can find out a little bit more information in the description box below. All you have to do is search Army of Weirdos on Facebook, and there are a couple options, or the big green rectangular pillow that says. And I might ask some questions on there about the fundraiser to see if anyone would be interested, um, thinking of ways we can make money and, you know, fundraise to, uh, you know, see what dates work best for people. I'm probably going to be in like a 6 week recovery from my top surgery at the end of March. So April won't be like a great month for me to do it probably. Okay, let me see how long it is now. Okay, I need to follow the row. Okay, so I'm going to go and just like give this a little bit of a rest for now. Once I attach this. I already am. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like that's pretty much what I'm thinking is like we'll get some feedback on what times and ship would be best for everyone, and then we'll try to coordinate it from there. Um, I've done a bunch of fundraisers in the past. Some have been more successful than others, but for me, like this is really important that if I put the time and effort into it, that like we get like a good showing. So if it's something that you're interested in participating in any degree, please give me your feedback because it's important for me to have that so that I can start working to make this happen. Because fundraisers do take some time to set up and think about how we're going to how we're going to raise money, right? So, okay, let me sew this in, and then we'll be done with this part. I have so many ends to sew in, I'm going to lose my mind. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to head out now that I have my arm loops done. So we're back to kind of the beginning. We've made some progress, but still got a lot to do to adjust literally all of the ribs and finish out the last, let's see, two rib portions. So hopefully this will be done eventually. Okay, well, I love you all, and I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a great day, and bye.